Welcome to the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Each week we will bring you inspiring tips, stories, and ideas to help you be all that you can be, discovering your greatness. Featuring Donna Tashton. Donna is a transformational life and health coach, a highly sought-after public speaker, and the founder of Vibrant Living. She has helped hundreds find a better life, free of stress and living the greatness they were truly designed for. And now, your host, Donna Tashton.
Hello, welcome. This is Donna Tashton on podcast number 22. And today I have my very special friend, Deb Anderson, with me. Say hello.
Hi.
I am so happy that you are here today, and I am excited about the Women's Conference where you are one of the speakers that are going to be sharing.
Thank you.
And this conference is about being courageous, which is being confident. It means a lot of things. And you've had some things that have happened to you recently in your life that may have shaken or made you re-look at your life. Would you share some of things that's been going on and what you've learned?
Sure. Well, I think we all go through different stages in our lives, and I have recently had rotator cuff surgery.
That doesn't sound fun.
It hasn't been fun, but
necessary.
It was very necessary. It turned out I had a tear in my bicep as well as my rotator cuff. And so it is an extremely long recovery period. I'm doing much better now. This is about the 8th week.
Okay.
And so I was able to, I had surgery on June 12th. And so the beginning stages are very difficult, and then physical therapy is difficult. I feel very fortunate in that I didn't have as much pain maybe as some do. I heard horror stories, so I really took the month of May to prepare myself in many ways, making meals ahead of time and ordering a few things to help me sit up so that I could, rest my arm appropriately. You're not allowed to lay flat with it, and just various things. But I'd heard so many different horror stories, I wanted to make sure I was prepared mentally as well as physically. And then you have the recovery period, and you're pretty much not able to do anything for yourself in the first couple weeks. I needed help getting dressed. I needed help even in the bathroom. These are things that are very difficult and a little bit humbling.
Yes.
But I have a wonderful husband who helped me out, and our daughter came for the first 3 days and helped us out adjusting to our new normal for a while. And but I will say, Donna, you're right that it shakes your confidence a little bit in that I'm used to being a pretty put together kind of gal.
You're the caregiver.
Yeah, that's true. I normally am the caregiver, and I normally like to look presentable even at home. And I was not able to do that for a while. And so I would say the biggest struggle is getting back into the world, getting back into the normalcy, and feeling good about myself when maybe my body isn't quite there yet.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my body is still saying, now wait a minute, you cannot do all of that yet. You need to take it easy. And so the self-care approach has to come into play.
Right.
When my patience level, unfortunately, is not as it maybe needs to be.
One of the things that I've noticed when we as women, at least I'll speak to that because I know that, go through some kind of challenge, either physical or something in our lives, that we can't do what we did before.
Yes.
How that we attribute that to somehow we're not as valuable.
Oh, that's a very interesting point, and I would say you hit the nail on the head. But I think it's because you're so used to being needed, being the one that takes charge, is in
Right.
control, that all of a sudden when you have to receive instead of giving, yes, it's a mindset change. And yet, I had the hardest time, and everybody was saying, just enjoy the fact that you can
Do nothing.
Yes. I am not a do-nothing kind of gal.
Most of us are not.
No, so that was hard for me, really
Yeah.
hard for me. So, yeah, I would say you hit the nail on the head with that analogy.
Yeah, because it is so surprising. Well, not really surprising, because I've been joking lately that I'm going to start a group called Performers Anonymous. Mm-hmm. And need to practice that word, apparently. Just like Alcoholics Anonymous is like, hi, I'm Donna, I'm addicted to performance. and because when I'm not performing, or when I'm not, the thing that we base our value on is other people's opinion and my performance, when my value is who I was created to be. And
Right.
even if I was wheelchair bound and couldn't do whatever limitations we want to put out there, my value comes by who created me and who I am, not necessarily what I'm doing. People's opinions are fickle.
Well, that's true. God says we are fearfully and wonderfully
That's right.
made. And the thing is, I've been reminding myself of that, because who better to be made after than God?
Yes.
So I should feel, and I would say I did feel privileged and aware.
Yes.
When you have to sit around, you notice nature. I happen to have a little porch that I absolutely love to be out on. And I love it because it's very secluded and private. And so I have my hummingbird that comes to visit me, and my squirrel friends that are, sunbathing on the tree branch and taking a quick peek at me as I sit out there. And those are things that I truly love and that calm me, mm-hmm. and that make me appreciate the little things, and yet the great things that...
Well, me observing you go through this, I think you did it amazing, but there's lessons that we can learn
yes.
as we go along the way to learn how to... You prepared yourself for self-care. You mentally did a whole lot of work ahead of time, too. But sometimes tragedy happens, and all of a sudden you can't, and there's no prep time
right.
for those kinds of things, to learning how, but just that awareness, like, oh, I'm doing it on performance again. Mm-hmm. For me, being, avoiding failure at all costs, which, this last year has not been the case. I've been really going out there.
Yes, you have.
But learning to embrace the possibility of not doing it perfect, and whatever that means anyway.
Right. Well, I will say this, though. I think we go through seasons, and I have had some times where I've been riding that high wave, mm-hmm. and then because I've had to step back, I feel like I'm in a slump, but I'm not really. I just need to get myself back out there, but I can't rush it.
Right.
And I was told by my physical therapist and my doctor, this is a recovery period that is the longest of almost any types of surgery. And so you can't do more and make yourself better faster. It just doesn't work that way. So I still have to, enjoy this lull, I guess, and not equate it, as you said earlier, to whether it's a failure or a success. It's what it is. It's
what it is.
It's a rest period that I have to go through.
Right.
And I feel like when we're hopefully inspiring other women, that we need to know it's okay to go through these times. I told my doctor I do not want to have surgery. Mm-hmm. And do you know what he said to me? He said, well, you don't have to have surgery, but if you don't have surgery, then you're going to be back in here, I would say, in my experience, within a year or two, and need a full shoulder replacement. And so he said, but you don't have to have surgery. I said, okay, so you're saying I don't have to, but if I don't, then it's going to be way worse. He said, I'm just saying that's my experience, but it's your choice. Well, and you know what, Donna, here's the other beautiful thing. I was in so much pain all the time.
Yes, you were.
that I didn't feel well, and I couldn't present myself well. And that's something that I'm very much a stickler on when I'm teaching my students, and for my own self. I want to be able to be on top of my game. Mm-hmm. And I told the doctor, I am not on top of my game, and I need to be. And he said, well, wouldn't you like to have that relief?
Right.
And of course I did. And I don't have that constant pain. The pain I have now is recovery pain. But I don't have that horrible, nagging, constant pain. And that is such a blessing. So it was worth it.
There's so many life lessons that I'm picking up from your story. Learning to take time. Sometimes we have to retreat to repair, to excel.
That's correct.
And I love the analogy of riding the wave, because even the wave retreats. Mm-hmm. And learning that is a process, and that taking care of ourselves is not selfish.
No.
I know that it's more common than it used to be. Self-care is that word. I didn't even ever hear that word before.
No.
But that we have permission now with society. There's a lot more with self-care. But I still think as women that is challenging. Mm-hmm. And learning to step into our confidence and be. The other thing that wasn't a phrase I had heard is that somehow we as women, we just think we should know how to do things.
Right.
We have a baby. We should know how to take care of a baby. Never had a baby before, but I should know how to do this.
They don't come with an instruction manual.
They do not, and every child needs a new one.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
And, that we just think, I should know how to do this. And I don't know where that comes from, but it's with almost every woman that I talk to is like, I should just know how to do this. I should just have confidence. And when I don't, then I beat myself up, and I call that the inner gremlin voice. Mm-hmm. That voice that we're not achieving something, we're not performing to a certain level, whatever we think it is. And to me, that's a huge component on all the changes. I mean, we've lived a little longer, not as long as some women, but we've lived and we've noticed the ebbs and flows and the changes. Absolutely. And adjusting, and helping women to step into that life is a change, and embrace every season and learn from each other. We don't have the communal things that they had when my grandmother was young.
No, that's true.
And everybody turns to social media, but man, that's a double-edged sword. And learning to encourage each other, to ask for help, to be able to support each other. What's your thoughts on all of that?
Well, as you talk about all of that, here's the lesson I think that we're missing. It is a beautiful thing to receive.
It is.
And so you go through this, and when you can finally embrace the fact that I'm in a state right now where I need to receive, I'm not able to give. I had so many beautiful people take care of me. I had people, a church full of women from my past employment at Covenant Village of the Great Lakes, and these particular women put together delicious meals for us in disposable containers and sent them all to me so that I would not have to worry about returning dishes. Mm-hmm. Now, that sounds like a minor thing, but that's what we always used to do. These were all in disposable containers. I could keep them or I could throw them away. They all had instructions on them so that I would know exactly what to do. And then I had a friend who actually paid to have my carpets cleaned before my surgery. Now, I know that isn't something most of us would think about, but she knew how important it was to me. I wanted my home to be spick and span, tip-top, because she knows me. Mm-hmm. She knows that was important to me.
Right.
And I wasn't going to have time or didn't even want to deal with that aspect of things. She arranged it. The carpet company called me up and said, hey, we have a cancellation tomorrow. And this was like a day or two before my surgery. Would you be able to have us come? I said, absolutely. And they came the next morning, and they were done by, late morning. Mm-hmm. And I had this clean home. Now, I'm not going to kid you. After surgery, I've got papers laying everywhere and cast pieces and all these kinds of things. But just the fact that someone would care enough about me to do that was unbelievable. I would say the receiving was the biggest blessing.
Yeah. And you able to actually, I think we could miss out on love. And however that is shown to us when I think I've got to be the performer all the time, or I've got to be the giver all the time, whatever word you want. And so learning to give to each other and receive it, I think is such a beautiful component that I see coming through women working together.
I believe that too. And you're not always going to get a response. Like I wasn't able to individually thank all these women that prepared these meals.
Right.
But I did put a thank you on Facebook, and I know that they will get that message in a roundabout way. That's about the only thing I enjoy Facebook for. I've gotten to the point where some of these social media sites are not my friends. I do have my business on them, but I just love the fact that you can stay in touch with relatives and people that have moved away, but you can still stay in touch.
There's always some blessing.
Yeah, that's my greatest thing.
There's always some blessing. So I am excited as we get ready. I mean, the conference is, let's see.
Well, it's October.
It's October the 12th. So a couple months away yet. And early bird tickets are still available, so I'm excited about that too. Are you excited about speaking to these women?
Well, I am. Speaking to women has always been something that I love to do. Because I love women. I love our camaraderie that we can have. I know that there's a lot of negativity out there, but I really think for the most part that we thrive and feed off of one another in a positive way.
Right.
And it does require a vulnerability on my part as a speaker, because I am the type of person who will pretty much bare my soul, and I tend to do it with humor, but I say things that other people want to say but wouldn't dare. So that is kind of my thing. But I just want to, I hope, inspire other women to speak courageously and with confidence. And it is not a skill that comes overnight, but it's certainly a skill that can be developed.
Yes. I'm an example of that.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Always improving.
Yes, you are.
Always trying to improve. Well, I want to thank you for sharing this vulnerable story. You minimize it, but it wasn't easy for you.
No.
And we tend to minimize. So I want you to know I recognize it. And thank you for sharing your story, that other women can be encouraged if they're going through something similar, that they take time and maybe learn a little bit from our struggles.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you for having me, Donna.
You are welcome. Bye for now.
We are excited to announce Vibrant Living International Women's Conference. We have a lineup of 5 powerful speakers. And on October 12th, the fun begins in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Early bird tickets are available for a limited time, so visit www.iVibrantLiving.com and click on the Women's Conference tab to get the scoop. You don't want to miss this inspirational event. Reserve your seat today.